back in the shop today. Let's see what we got to work on this time. You want to lead the way? Well, we took in quite a bit of stuff the other day. We got this DR stump grinder that has a starter issue. We got to figure that out. We've had this chainsaw for some time. The guy's not in a hurry for it. We had these 3 little motors come in. So we're going to go back to our roots with these motors in this episode. We're going to first start off with this 3.3 Johnson. This is a 96. We know that because OMC uses a number to letter system where they use the phrase introduces, and each letter stands for a number. In this case, we have ED, which is 96. Let's start by removing the gas cap and taking a whiff of the fuel. That actually smells pretty fresh. I wonder what's going on there. The guy said these things ain't ran in 20 years. I don't believe that with this one. First thing we'll start with is an ignition chest. We're going to go ahead and pull the spark plug to make this easier to pull. Damn, it's tighter than I thought it would be. Now this is a Chinese clone of a Tohatsu. And my dad's a Tohatsu dealer, so we grew up working on motors very similar to this. Hold on, I gotta put the camera down. It's got ignition. Let's do a compression test. What is that, about 90? Okay. So one thing I noticed while pulling on this thing is the propeller's turning the wrong direction. Kind of makes me wonder if maybe this starter's put together wrong and it's spinning it in the wrong direction, and that's why it won't run. Let's dive into that. Judging by the wear pattern of that plastic grommet, it looks like maybe they wound the rope in the wrong direction. So I'm going to try to turn this thing the correct way with this drill and see if it'll start. Now this shouldn't hurt anything because the water pump's already junk anyway, and we're going to replace it, and we're not going to run it long. We just want to see if it'll start if we turn it the correct direction. Well, it runs, but I do think we need to go through the carburetor. The first thing we do with these is take these 2 screws out that hold the cover. They also secure to this plate. Hopefully I don't have to take all the covers off to do this. But if I do, now we'll go ahead and take that screw out. Come on, there we go. Alright, got a little O-ring there. We make sure we don't lose that. We got our grease tub here that we like very much. Let's see. Next thing we'll do, we'll take this choke knob off. Like so. Pull these 2 screws out here. That part of it comes off. Now, I'm going to give this thing a good external cleaning. Ah, right in the face. Alright, let me go dump this outside real quick. It's got a bunch of crap in it. Now, these carburetors don't have a mixture adjustment per se. This adjusts the idle speed. And it works by limiting how much this plunger can go down. Alright, let's pull the drain screw out. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of grit that came out of that. Okay. Oh yeah. Pull the bowl off real quick. Okay. Oh yeah. See all this crap in here? Yeah. Yep. Okay. You can see this crap up here as well. So this definitely needed to be gone through. Okay. This is the main nozzle. Oh wow, it's barely tight. Alright, let's see. Next thing I need is, I need to get a punch to get the float thing out. Okay. That's out. Float's out. Next thing we do is we'll get a pair of slip joint pliers and we'll get the that out. Okay, loosen that up. That allows this to pivot. And you take this out like so. That's the plunger. This plunger acts as the high-speed mixture needle and also controls the amount of air that goes through it. Now we go ahead and start cleaning on this carburetor. We first start by blowing off the interior surfaces with Carb Cleaner and then following up in the passages, blowing any of the grit and grime out. This carburetor is not too bad, so we shouldn't have to go crazy with scrubbing. We then follow the Carb Cleaner up with compressed air to verify all the passages are clean. Now we'll go ahead and work on the bowl. The bowl's got all the grit and possible corrosion in it, so it takes a little bit. We use a dental pick to get in the little nooks and crannies of the bowl. Then we finish it off with compressed air. Now we're going to go ahead and blow the float off. Here we are running some scrub brushes through the main nozzle to verify it's clean. Now we're over here working on reassembly. We drop the needle in the seat and we put the float arm on and we're pushing the pin back in. Now we're testing to make sure the float's not full of gas. We're going to put that in, make sure it's level. With its 2 screws. Now we're going to go ahead and put the slide back in. It's got an alignment pin, so it only goes in one way. With that installed, we put the air silencer back on. Had a hard time getting the throttle lever to go through the hole for some reason. And we follow that up by tightening up these 2 screws. And the next time you see this thing, we'll be putting it on. I'm going to put this O-ring in the carburetor. Like so. We'll give this thing a good push. Oh. Alright, that's tight. Okay. So we're going to do 2 things at once. While we are doing the impeller, I'm going to drain what gear oil is in it. and replace it. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. There you go. Impeller for these motors is actually behind the propeller. Okay. Alright, so behind the propeller, which should have just slid off. Really? Oh. What's up with that? Well, no, don't tell me. That's what's up with that. Well, that shear pin is definitely bent like an S. That's why that was stuck. We ended up breaking the shear pin to get it out. So now we remove these two 10mm bolts. To get to the water pump impeller. The impeller's right in there. And actually, it don't look too bad. Don't do that. Oh yeah. It's got chunks missing out of it. It's torn. It's a good thing we're changing it. It may only go in from the bottom. Okay. Yep, there we go. That's in. Okay. We're going to pre-grease our new impeller by wiping a smidgen of grease on it. And then we are just going to slide it. There we go. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and blow through the telltale, and air should come out of there. The reason you do that is if the impeller chunks went up there and got stuck, you can blow them back out. Now we'll apply a light coating of grease on these bolts and we'll put them back in. I went ahead and stole the shear pin out of my 3.5 and I'm going to give it to him like that. Alright, now let's put some gear oil in it. This is a lazy way. You can honestly just use a squeeze bottle, but I don't have just a squeeze bottle. We don't normally work on outboards. So we're gonna pump it. Oh, there you go. That's full. And we'll put our top screw in. And then very quickly, we will put our bottom screw in. All right, let's get the barrel filled up and give this thing a try. Okay, now we're gonna wait 100 years for the barrel to fill. We'll be back. Well, is this thing gonna run? Let's find out. Let's see if we can mess this starter up. It's been so long since I've done starters. Okay. So it looks to me this pawl could go either way, so I think they put this on upside down to make it work right. How did I know that was going to happen? We kind of knew that was going to happen, but while we're this far into it, we'll change this rope. Looks like you could put that spring on here either way, so I think that's what they did, and that's why it was wound backwards. So let's pull the old rope through the hole. We got a new rope here. We'll stick it in. That looks like a square knot that they loop the end back through. Okay. Now, it needs to spin this way, so the rope needs to be wound on this way, which it was not before. Okay, so here's the fun part. We got to get this spring wound back up in that tiny little space. So yes, that's gonna be exciting. Did I mention I don't like doing recoil starters? Let me, might have to do some of this off camera, but I need to kind of wind it. Let's see here. I need it to pull this way. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this on camera because this is a pain in the butt. I'm sure there's somebody who does this every day who has a secret to make this a lot easier. And normally I have the secret, but not on this. Alright, I'm gonna fiddle with this off camera and see if I can get it. I'm gonna apologize because I didn't get that on camera. But I will say this. We finally got it 2 hours later. So, probably a good thing that we didn't get it on camera. But anyway, starter works good. So let's go ahead and get this thing installed. Wow, this thing's got some power. Now I know if I put the bracket down, this thing will go probably 10 miles an hour if I sit up forward. We'll insert a clip of my 3.5 Nissan, which is basically the same motor doing it. Looks like we might have to turn up that idle a little bit, but other than that, this thing's great. Now that we've function tested it on the river, let's go ahead and head on back to the dock, run this thing out of gas, and wrap this video up. Well, Abby, we've had a pretty good successful test of this Johnson 3.3. Uh-oh, she's getting in the boat. No? Come on, it's okay. Anyway, we got the other two motors done, and we actually tested them on the same day. This actually was the last motor we tested, but we actually got more time in this one. So we decided to do separate videos for each motor, being the runtime would just be too long if we tried to put all three into one. So those will be coming out on a future episode of Abby Normal Garage. Anyway, we've been pretty busy in the shop and at work and traveling, so we're a little behind on our video releases. The river's still a little up from the rain from that hurricane at Helen or whatever it was, but it's coming down. It barely got up. The island barely went underwater, so we fared all right from that. We were without power for a whole day though. That's a little different, but it's all good. Anyway, feel free to like the video if you enjoy the content. Share the video with any of your friends that might be into vintage outboard motors and John boats and things of the sort. Man, that's crazy calling these things vintage. I remember when these were brand new up at Collie Marine. But anyway, I digress. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And feel free to check out our Facebook page. We try to post pictures of behind the scenes every couple days on the Facebook page. And sometimes they don't get transcribed to the channel. So if you're into that sort of thing, check out Abby Normal Garage on Facebook. And we'll see you on the next episode of Abby Normal Garage.